After a life of exploring and defeating enemies, you finally decided it is now time to settle down. Accompanied by a multitude of loving animals, you build up your very own cozy farm. I spent 100 days building a farm in Minecraft. Let's all put our straw hats on, well, those who do have one, and let's head off to discover and obtain a large variety of crops, build enclosures for upgraded Minecraft animals, and of course create all the structures our farm will need. And little secret, there are some adorable straw golems that are gonna help me in this adventure. On day 1, I spawned in a beautiful field and I picked up some raspberries. I spotted a village in the distance, and so I decided to head over there. I found some sheep as well as a chest full of crops. Further off was an enclosure with cows and pigs, and another chest with crops I'd never encountered in Minecraft before. There were a lot of animals in the surroundings, such as deers, as well as a wild cow, which seemed friendly at first. I then decided to chop down a few logs. I made myself a crafting table, and the first tool I made was a wooden hoe because yes, this is 100 days building a farm, so I just had to make a hoe before everything else. On day 2, I got a bit of cobblestone to upgrade my tools, and I also found some iron. I spotted a ginger cat in the grass, and I decided to go ahead and kill some salmon to try and tame it, and I noticed there were loads of little aquatic creatures in the river. Sadly, when I came back out of the water, the cat was nowhere to be seen, so I decided to explore a bit more, and I actually found a wild boar and another deer. And then guess what happened? I wandered a bit too close to the cow, she got mad, and she flung her horns at me, and yeah, I died on day 2. Yes, the gaming quality on this channel is just incredible. Nevertheless, on day 3 I came back strong by chopping down some wood. I also crafted myself a shield as well as an iron pickaxe, and then I spotted a cow that looked very much like a bison, but I'm not sure it was one. Anyway, I was not going to approach it with what happened with the other cow. I went underground to get quite a bit of iron, and on day 4 I was able to craft myself a full iron armor to be safe in case some crazy angry cows decide to attack me again. On day 5 I went exploring the area again, and I found a couple of peacocks as well as a broken portal, and I looked everywhere for a chest, but all I found was mud, which was a bit disappointing. On day 6, I was heading back to the village when I spotted this ravine, and I decided to extract all the natural resources I could find. When I came back, I noticed that there was actually a baby cow. I didn't know where he came from, but then I remembered that the very angry cow had actually mated while she was killing me with one of the bulls. Well, that's what I call multitasking. On day 7, I did a little bit of farming, and then I discovered that I could craft loads of different objects that would be really practical to have. So first of all, I crafted a nympho glass, and basically I could use it on animals to see if they were pregnant, if they were hungry, etc, etc. On day 8, I found the ginger cat again, and I tried to trap it in a hole, but it ran off once again. I noticed some strange things hanging from a tree, and they were actually hazelnuts, which I thought was pretty cool. I then continued on my way exploring the beautiful biomes, and I found another broken temple, looted the chest, and then I found a bunch of lovely looking horses. I actually tamed one, but I didn't have a saddle, so it was totally useless. I spotted a Oryx cow in the distance, and I decided to kill it because I really needed to get a horn to make a blowing horn, and all the animals would follow me. I continued on my way and killed off my first skeleton, and then I just continued exploring, just hoping I would find another cow and that I would get a horn. On day 10, I found another Oryx cow, and I hit it, expecting it would follow me. And basically it fell in that hole and couldn't attack me, so yeah, I hit it again, and this time I actually got a horn, so I was quite happy. I then spotted this creeper creeping out of a cave, you know, as creepers do, I guess. And of course, it had to explode before I could kill it. And then when I entered the cave, I saw this skeleton, and it really did not stand a chance against me because I am such a talented Minecraft player. All lying aside, I headed home, and then I put all my stuff in a chest. I then went back out and finally spotted the ginger cat again and was able to tame it. And of course, I called him Ginger. On day 11, I came across a donkey that was roaming through the fields, and then I made some food for the cows as well as a milk tank. Basically, the milk doesn't work like in vanilla Minecraft. You have to get a cow pregnant. Well, actually, I'm not very sure because the only tutorial I saw was in Russian or Portuguese. So yeah, what I think is basically when you breed cows and they become pregnant, they can get some milk, or maybe they don't need to be pregnant, and you can get that milk and store it in a milk tank. Day 12 was a pretty exciting day because I actually made my first straw golem, and I made him and I didn't really know what to expect and basically just picked up some hay, didn't know what to do, so I gave him a chest and he put the hay in the chest. And yeah, I might be amazed by something very basic, but yeah, basically it was just so cute, and it was actually helpful because he would harvest the crops and replant. So yeah, he was just a very practical guy. Practical, but not necessarily very smart because he went into the cow enclosure and I struggled to get him out. A cow even managed to get out, but I got her back in. And at one point he actually picked up a pumpkin. It was just adorable. And then of course, one of the cows got angry at me and I barely made it out alive. I decided to name the little man Barley. I then made a scarecrow so that Barley would have a friend, and he seemed quite content with him. After picking up some apples, I decided to go milk my cows, and I spotted a brown calf, so I wasn't sure what he would grow up to become, and I then fed all the cows. On day 14, I broke a bit more grass, you know, to get loads of different seeds, and then I made some feed bags for the sheep, and I noticed that one of them was pregnant. And by the end of the day, I decided to make a nice large farm, you know, to be able to really plant all the seeds I'd found. Day 15 was really the cliche farmer day because it was basically farm, eat, milk cows. While Ginger was enjoying the company of a villager, I decided I would make, you know, a large enclosed farm where I would probably put in some straw golems, and basically it would become an automatic farm. On day 16, I was super happy to see that the sheep had given birth to 2 adorable lambs, and then I continued working on the enclosed farm. By the way, I'm really sorry if you can hear some noises from time to time. I've got some rabbits, I've got a dog, IRL I mean. So yeah, they might be making a bit of noise near the microphone. So yeah, I'm playing 100 days building a farm, even though I already have a farm at home. On day 17, I noticed that a sea snail was just wandering around on land, far away from the water, and what a surprise, he suffocated. On day 18, the enclosed farm was finally accomplished, and I simply had to gather enough seeds, you know, to plant everywhere, and I also collected quite a bit of wood. On day 19, I started destroying one of the village houses, and you will soon understand why. But first, I heard a spider hissing, so I dug around until I found a cave, and of course there were some creepers, but one of them helped me to kill the spider. And that is when I made a big mistake. I accidentally clicked on Ginger and put him to wandering instead of following. Yeah. That night, I really wanted to get as many mob drops as I could, so I just spent the night killing a bunch of monsters. On day 20, I was finally able to make myself a blowing horn, which meant that all the animals would follow me when I have it in my hand. I also realized you could tame the baby animals by giving them apples and things like that. I'm now gonna tell you why I'm destroying village houses. Basically, I wanted to put my animals there and then build a barn over them. On day 21, I realized that Barley really wasn't doing well, so I quickly got some wheat and gave him plenty. I then had an attempt sorting the cow species together, and then I saw Mr. Barley was struggling to get a large pumpkin in a chest, so I pushed him a little bit to help him, and that just made him fall in water and he took damage. So yeah, I felt quite bad and I gave him some wheat. And that's when I noticed Ginger was missing. Yes, because I put him on wandering accidentally, because I'm not very smart. But nevertheless, that night I went over to the swamp to get a bit of wood, but especially to kill plenty of monsters and slimes to get slime balls, and therefore to make leads. With the string I'd collected, I could also make myself a bow. I then used my blowing horn to, get all the animals over to where I wanted to do the barn, and that's when I saw this creeper. Thankfully, all went well. But as it was a blowing horn, I thought you had to constantly blow in it so that it would work. And actually no, so yeah, I'm going to be ridiculous for quite a while. I then noticed that this calf simply was not following me, so I got some apples, tamed him, and fairly easily got him with his mother. On day 23, I had to deal with some very silly villagers that were getting in the enclosure. Yeah, somehow they really love doing that. And then I went to get the sheep. The babies had actually escaped, so yeah, we're back to square one. On day 24, I got all the bulls in, and I have to say they did look quite elegant, for Minecraft. And then I got the pigs in, and, they had a baby right in front of me. I don't know why. Then it was time for my favorite cows, the oryx cows, that of course tried to kill me once again. And by the way, the brown calf was actually an oryx cow, so yeah, that was just super fun. After watching a confused straw golem, I had another look for Ginger, but in vain. I went exploring, and on day 25 I found this lovely little village. So of course I had to steal all the straw I could find, the furnaces, everything. And I actually found a bunch of turkeys and sheep, but the turkeys were wild and they kept running super fast even if I had the blowing horn in my hand. Later on, I spotted some black swans, as well as this super elegant animal that you can actually find in the Alps. And it is called an ibex. So in French, it's actually called bouquetin, so it's quite different. That night, I found an immense spruce forest, and I actually spotted some wolves. So I decided I would kill every skeleton I could find, as well as every other mob that crossed my path, and that is exactly what I did. And I collected a fair amount of bones, and I was able to tame plenty of wolves. I was actually very keen on taming wolves because I can basically turn them into actual dogs, so you will soon discover how awesome they're gonna look. I then found this awesome cow that looked like a bison again, and I wanted to bring her back, but my wolves did not agree with that. After looking at a very depressed straw golem, I do not know why they just couldn't get the wheat in the chest for some reason, so I kindly pushed him and it worked. Now it was time to transform my wolves, so I could basically make something called a training treat. And then I can choose the texture. So I decided to call my first dog Brownie because the texture was brown, and look what you can actually do. You can actually throw sticks and the dogs will get them. So it's not the only thing they can do, but I just thought it was really cute. On day 28, I made another training tree, and when you transform the wolf into a dog, it's super weird. It looks like there's a weird lag for some reason. And I discovered you can do some really weird textures sometimes, but I wanted all my dogs to be quite different, so I named one Alfonso, the other Bella. I then realized that you could actually use points or whatever to level up your dogs, so Bella became my jumping dog. And that's when I realized that Alfonso was a female and Bella was a male, so I named Bella Bob and Alfonso Bella. I don't know, it just fit with how they looked. I then started building the barn, and all the piglets escaped, which was a bit annoying, but oh well. On day 29, I basically spent the day building the barn, so I used some oak logs for the pillars, and for the outline of the roof, I decided to use some spruce wood. I then went for a sprint to try and get this little lamb that had escaped, and I somehow managed. You don't realize, but they really run super fast. On day 30, I went to look around for Ginger once again. Basically, I didn't realize that I had clicked on wandering, so I still thought that maybe Ginger was just sitting around somewhere. I was very hopeful. I then jumped on Bob's back and we jumped over to help one of the silly straw golems that was stuck. And then I decided to make loads more straw golems, so I named one rye, the other oats, and another wheat. You can see the pattern in the names. On day 31, I continued building the barn, and that was it. I placed a stair, and another stair. On day 32, I decided I would craft a saddle. Yes, you heard me correct, craft a saddle. Basically, I have a mod that, kind of upgrades everything for horses. You can basically get way more colors in a horse. You can craft saddles, make the horse's saddle more colorful, and you could even make your very own horse blankets. On day 33, I tamed my last dog. And I decided to name him Edgar after PewDiePie's pug, but I am super silly because the pug was actually a female, so I could have just named her Maya, but yeah, let's go with Edgar. I am too silly to realize it. For Edgar, I decided to get some points of cuteness, and basically the villagers, when they would see Edgar, they would give me diamonds and iron and dog food, so yeah, that was really pretty cool. On day 34, I decided to name my donkey friend Donkey, like in Shrek. And Donkey and I went to get plenty of wood. By day 35, the barn was really starting to take shape. It was really quite simple, I didn't go into a crazy design, but I was still quite satisfied with it. At one point, this cow was taking damage, and then she just went out of the enclosure. I wonder how she did that. Well done, cow. And then Bob and I went to take care of the straw golems that were really losing health pretty quickly. I then used some straw to make hay bales, and I actually realized you could feed the animals and it would just, keep their belly nice and full. The next morning, I was really proud of Edgar because the villagers had given so many treats, and I decided to feed all the dogs. From days 36 to 38, I decided to go mining. And of course, I decided to take Brownie and Bella. I found a mine shaft, and then I realized that I had actually put my dogs on passive, so they were just not helping me, so I quickly changed them to aggressive. The reason I took the dogs was first of all for their company, but also because Bella was really good with creepers and Brownie loved to light monsters on fire. I of course had plenty of raw steak on me so that when the dogs would take any damage, I could feed them and restore their health. At one point we came across a minecart and there was a diamond in it, which was pretty exciting. I was really excited when we came across a zombie spawner, so yeah, I had a quick look through the chests. There were some saddles and plenty of monster drops. From days 39 to 40, I decided to strip mine, so I sat down the dogs because they were just getting in the way of the pickaxe and I really did not want to harm them. My main goal was to find some diamonds because I wanted to upgrade my tools, and soon enough I found some and I was quite exciting. It's always a very agreeable moment to mine diamonds. I then discovered a ravine and I quickly went to get Brownie and Bella so that they could take care of the monsters while I was mining away. So yeah, you might think I'm a bit lazy, but maybe I am a bit, maybe not, I don't know. But really, to be honest, I just enjoyed the fact that they were, actual dogs and all. And as I was a farmer, a farmer is always very close to his dogs. So I thought, why not spend more time with them? On day 41, I restored my hardworking Barley's health, as well as all his friends. And then I realized that you could actually make some dog beds. And this is really crucial because once a dog owns a bed, if ever it dies or anything, it will respawn at the bed. So I knew that I would have my doggy friends forever. Because guys, think of all the times we've all lost dogs and it's just so heartbreaking. I know it's Minecraft, but it's just so annoying, you know? I then started destroying my second villager house. So, what would Tootsie be building this time? Basically, I had all this grain, but you know, what can I do with grain? So I thought, why not do a windmill? Like that, I could grind all my wheat and make some tasty flour and therefore some bread. But to be honest, in Minecraft, you do not need a windmill. It's true. It was more for the pleasure of having a windmill. But shh. Let's pretend I'm a pro farmer and I really need one. Okay, guys, forget it's Minecraft. So this was actually one of the first times, I think it might be like the second or third time I was building a windmill. So what did I do to get inspired a bit? Well, basically I thought, so what are the resources you have? Oak, spruce, and stone. So basically I just mixed all of that up, you know, and I added some fences and walls for a bit of texture and detail. And then I went to shear all my sheep and I used the white wool to make, you know, the little rotating part at the front. By day 48, the windmill was almost accomplished and all it needed was a nice pointy roof. So for that I used only spruce, so I mixed up logs and planks, and there we have it, the windmill. So I really hope you enjoyed the design. I'm not a pro at making windmills, you know, it's kind of basic, but I'm still quite happy with it. On day 50, I bought donkey in, and you might be wondering why. Sometimes people use donkeys, you know, to grind the grain, so it was kind of to pretend that he was doing that, even though he was just chilling inside the windmill. I then set out to find the horses that I had found earlier on. If you remember well, I had actually tamed the white horse, so I decided to lead up all the other horses and I bought them all back. So I knew I could get some quite unique colors if I bred the horses, so that is what I did. And honestly, look at that little horse. Well, I mean, he looks a bit weird because it's 1.16, but I mean, the colors and the pattern was really nice. I also could make some carts, so I could make some animal carts, some transport or whatever carts, and I could get my horse attached to it, and I don't know, it just looks so nice and so farm-like. And of course, Brownie had to jump in, so we went for a ride all around. I then decided to breed some other horses, but I just got the same color as the white horse, but oh well. I then realized you could also make a plow and just put like some hoes in it and you could hoe down a lot of blocks at the same time, which was pretty cool. I then crafted a yellow halter for one of my horses and it did look quite nice. After that, I realized that maybe I should get all the animals out into large enclosures. I mean, it's just not very nice to be in some stables, you know, the sheep and the cows like to go out, so that is exactly what I did. And I decided to put the horses in the stables instead because I would be taking them out quite a lot anyway, you know, for example, for getting some wood. I then made an enclosure just for the cows and I gradually all brought them in, of course blowing the horn 100 times even though it was absolutely unnecessary. On day 55, I decided to make an enclosure for the pigs and I actually left some of the crops because the pigs really enjoy that, and I also put a bit of mud in. Quick fact, by the way, pigs roll themselves in mud to protect their skin from the sun as well as from any bacteria and disease. You've probably heard that a lot, but pigs are very clean creatures. On day 57, I jumped into my boat and I went to get all the peacocks I'd found, and I also came across some lovely little white goats, so I put a leash on them and I brought them home. On day 58, I started building an enclosure for them, and I realized that the goats got stuck in the animal cart, so I had to get them out, and I actually decided to put them in with the peacocks because, yeah, they seemed to get along fine. I then decided I would play fetch a bit with Edgar, so yeah, we had quite a bit of fun. And I also bred the peacocks, and the male opened its tail, and it really looks stunning. On day 59, I decided I would bring Barley in with all the other straw golems because basically he would be harvesting the plants and I wanted them to grow out a bit because I thought they looked quite nice. I then decided I would start building a barn where I would be storing, all the food and the crops that I get. With the company of Opal, my horse, I decided to get some extra wood to be able to finish building the barn. I bred Donkey and a lovely brown mare and had a very nice little foal, and then I continued working on the barn. I wanted to try out different things, so I decided to make horse blankets, so I kind of used different combinations of color, and I also made an English tack, and I put it on Opal, and it really looked quite elegant and quite funny to have in Minecraft. The barn was slowly taking shape, and I decided to do the same thing as for the barn. So basically the outline would be out of spruce wood, and the interior of the roof would be made out of oak planks. I then used a few trapdoors to add a bit of detail. As for the walls, I wanted something quite unique and good looking, so I went in rivers and lakes and I got plenty of clay, and then I made terracotta, dyed it red, and here is the result. I really wanted to make a red barn because it's kind of typical, so that is exactly what I did. It did take me quite a bit of time to find, enough clay because, yeah, it does take time when you make a build out of terracotta compared to wood. I wanted to decorate around the barn, and I decided I would make a pumpkin field. I mean, the colors would just look super nice with the bright red of the barn. I then used my plow, to hoe down all the grass that was in front of the barn, and I planted a multitude of different crops. Once the floor of the barn was done, I decided to make the ceiling, and I actually separated the barn into 2 levels. I then realized none of my horses had any water, so I immediately got some cauldrons, filled them up with water, and I wasn't very smart because I didn't put anything on top and the horses just went out of the barn, so yeah, I struggled a bit to get them all back. From day 70 to 73, I did a lot of mining, but not underground. I actually would destroy, the village churches. I think that's what they are. Because, first of all, I wanted to have a nice big area for the sheep, to get them more in the center of the farm. But also, I wanted to make a brand new build. So I thought what could be nice would be a sort of barn, but basically inside I would either be milking cows and goats, or it would be for mommy animals and their babies, just in case I need to take care of them or they're sick. Opal's baby had actually grown up, and I decided to name him Chocolate Fudge. I'm not very sure why. And Chocolate Fudge and I went to get plenty of wood because I would definitely need a lot for the next build. For a bit of a change, I decided to do the outline of the roof out of stone bricks that I then transformed into slabs and stairs. As for the shape of the roof, I did it way more pointy and way higher than the other barn. I then decided to fill it up with spruce wood. As there wasn't any spruce wood near me, I basically just had to grow some spruce trees all around my base and chop them down. From day 76 to 77, I continued getting some clay because this time I wanted to use some white terracotta for the walls of the new structure. As I was exploring, I actually came across a sunken ship as well as a duck. Yes, I don't know why I was so intrigued by the duck, But there was actually a diamond in one of the chests of the sunken ship, which was pretty cool. Once I got home, of course, Opal and I had to go get some more wood. Yes, I needed so much wood because I was building quite a bit, and I decided to get Donkey a girlfriend. The second barn, I'm not sure if I should call it a milk barn or a taking care of animals barn, you know, I'm not sure. But yeah, basically that barn was almost done, and I wanted to make a sort of large opening door at the front, so I'm not sure it looks too good, but I did my best. As you can see, I had made the walls out of stripped oak, and I quickly realized, well, not very quickly because I had it for a while, but soon enough I realized that it did not look very good and I really needed to get plenty of clay and replace everything with white terracotta. I soon enough started bringing plenty of animals in. I tried to get as many mummies with their babies, but I did actually take some males, so I don't know, maybe they were sick, we can imagine that. Like basically in my 100 days building a jungle zoo, I actually put animals that didn't really fit together in the same enclosure, you know, just because I thought, you know, they would fit well together, even though in real life it's not very realistic, but you know, I just make the most of Minecraft to be able to do whatever I want, because it's a game after all. On day 85, guess what was in my animal cart? A creeper. Yes, I don't know what he was doing here, but he was pretty easy to kill. I then set out to find some more animals, and I came across a bunch of chickens. And then I heard a meow, and guess who it was? Ginger! Yes, Ginger was actually just walking around freely, just making the most of life. But to be honest, I was really happy to find Ginger. I really thought that Ginger had died or something, I don't know. So yeah, it was pretty cool to have Ginger back. On day 86, I made some food for the cows, and then I was just jumping in this composter for some reason. And then I went to feed the chickens, and I realized there were some adorable baby chicks, but sadly they escaped the enclosure and it was impossible to get them back. On day 87, I took Ginger on a little boat trip and he disappeared. I don't know why. I was, to be honest, getting quite a few lags because of all the mods. I think I went a bit crazy with the mods, but oh well. On day 88, it was such a fabulous, important day. I made my very first diamond hoe ever. I've been playing Minecraft since I was 10. Well, I did stop for a bit, but I have never crafted a diamond hoe in my life. It was just building a farm for 100 days was just the perfect opportunity. And it was really very silly also to waste diamonds for that. But yeah, I am a little bit of a silly person. I was basically just replacing the stripped oak with some white terracotta, and I then decided to make some cute little homes for the chickens. On day 90, I continued building the chicken coops, so I mainly use spruce because I just think spruce looks lovely when building. So of course I had to chop down a lot of wood, and then I decided to basically use some dark oak, you know, instead of using some oak like I did in the other builds, and it would just, you know, change a bit. To make it really look like a chicken coop, I actually made a 1 block high entrance for the chickens, like that, you know, only the chickens could get in. And then I went to get them and they were pretty happy with their new little coop enclosure. I somehow managed to bring back one of the chicks, which was pretty nice, and one of the hens was taking care of her eggs. On day 92, I remembered a super cute little design of a wheelbarrow I had seen. I think it was on Pinterest or Instagram, so I just had to make plenty around the place because they just looked adorable, and shout out to the person who designed it first. It's really super cute and simple. On day 93, I decided I would challenge myself. I took my horse named Coffee and I attached her to the cart, and off we went to try and get some deers. Yes, this is super random, but I really wanted to challenge myself because deers are super hard to get, and I managed to catch the female deer in the cart. Well, she just, walked in it, so that was super simple. And then I made a cute little enclosure. I actually used the purple trees and the lavender to decorate because I thought it looked a bit more unique. And when I was releasing the deers in their enclosure, the female was taking damage in the tree, but thankfully she didn't die and all went well. Another super important part of this 100 days, I basically really wanted to make a tractor. I called it, of course, the Tootsie tractor, and I made it red with nice black wheels, and it was just a cute little tractor, and it was really fun to have, and I drove it around the place. Well, I didn't because it couldn't move, but let's imagine. From days 96 to 97, I went to explore a bit further, and I actually came across these awesome looking cows, with the little lump behind the neck, and I carefully brought them home. On day 98, I had another fun challenge. Basically, I bought back some wild boars and I put them in with the pigs. I did get attacked because I accidentally hit one. And now the major lag. Look at Chocolate Fudge. He was all black and grey, and his halter that was meant to be fully yellow actually had like a brown strip. It was just lagging, but oh well. I actually caught a rabbit in the animal cart, which was fun, and then I caught a baby wild boar, and I realized that this just wasn't very good, so I really had to get the mum and the other siblings. When I got the mum, I tried getting one of the babies, but basically he didn't fit in the animal cart, so I put him on a lead. I then closed my game urgently because, I was getting a few lags, and Chocolate Fudge got his color again, and he was quite happy because, Chocolate Fudge is just not grey and black. On day 100, I simply went around the farm, I fed my animals, and just enjoyed this lovely farm, and I was just very happy, very proud of all we had accomplished. I did feel a bit bad though because Donkey's girlfriend, I just attached her to a pole and forgot about her, whoopsie. So I brought her in the barn with the other animals. And then everything froze, just on day 100, I got a major lag. All the animals just stopped moving. It was just super weird. What a wonderful way to finish a 100-day video by showing all the terrible lags that happened. Thankfully, it was day 100 because that would have been a catastrophe. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. This video was very enjoyable to me because I would really love to have a farm in the future. It would probably be an educational farm where basically tourists and kids come along and learn about animals, do activities, all that. So this is really my dream, and I was able to do this dream in a way in Minecraft, and I really hope that one day it will happen in real life. Fingers crossed. All that said, animal lovers, I really hope I will see you in the next video, and know that I really love you guys and appreciate all the support you've given me. Love you.